Hey friends, it's Chelsea. So I've been on a career break for about 8 months now, which is crazy to say because in some ways it's flown by and in other ways it's felt like waiting for Christmas when you're a kid. While I've had some things to focus on, like the CDT hike, there are definitely days where I've had ample time. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it doesn't feel like such a good thing, but ample time to really think about how I've been living my life up until this point and what I want for my future self. So I thought I would share with you 3 things that I've learned so far. It's more than 3 things, but I wanted to narrow it down to the biggest kind of talking points that I would have wanted to hear from somebody when I was kind of doing my research and poking around, YouTube and the internet, trying to find other people who have taken a career break. And I sat down and I jotted a whole bunch of things that I've learned, but these 3 things that I'm going to share with you today are some of the most impactful things to me and the way that I work, and I'm hoping that it might be impactful to you if you're thinking about taking a break or maybe you're just starting yours. Let's get into it. Point number 1, the aftershock is real. I've been working in a fast-paced, always-on project management role for the last, almost 10 years. And when you are programmed for constant deadlines, emails, planning, to go from 100 miles an hour, which it almost felt like 200 miles an hour for me because I wasn't just doing my normal day-to-day job. I was also doing a lot of trainings and preparing trainings and leading my replacement through her training. We were doing hiring during that time. So it was a lot. So to go from 100 miles an hour to 0 miles an hour, once I had signed off that last day back in August, it was very, very disorienting. I remember laying on the couch feeling like, what have I done? Because you just are in this rhythm of like, go, go, go. You have your weekly meetings, you have, I had clients that I had, to meet with. And so just to stop all of that so abruptly, it was very jarring to the system. I thought I'd be thrilled to finally have all of this free time because I had made the decision to leave my job 2 months prior to actually leaving. And up until that point, you're just like dreaming about it, like to have all the time in the world to do the creative projects that you've been putting on the back burner, to visit with family and friends, to just do nothing, lay in a hammock. And it was so weird to me because it's like I had been dreaming about that for months leading up to that point. But then when it actually happened, it was so shocking. Like I just wanted to be busy and I couldn't be busy. There were no excuses anymore. The adjustment period probably was a lot tougher than you would think that it would be. And maybe some people are better at adjusting to that. Maybe if you're looking to take a career break, you're not obviously in the same field that I'm in, or maybe you're not a client facing person. Maybe you're more in operations, or you're a developer, or I don't know, maybe you're in sales and you're not having to work and stare at a computer, 10 hours a day like I was at that time. And so maybe it's a little different for you, but for me, it was very disorienting. And I wish someone would have told me that aftershock was going to be as shocking, for lack of a better word, that it was going to be as shocking as it was. What I learned from that takeaway, that the aftershock being real, was I learned who I was and who I am when I'm not working. And I've never really had this much time to be me, if you will, in my adult life. I've been working since I was 16, and I've been, working on a computer since college, like in terms of like having a job like in marketing or, web management and project management eventually. So I've been doing that since I was 19 years old, so you're talking going on 15 years of always on. And yes, you take vacations during that time. And yes, there were times where, I was in between jobs, but it's not the same when you choose to go on a career break versus when you're on a vacation, or maybe during the pandemic when I didn't have a job, like, and you're just looking for another job, filling your time. This is a different feeling. And to learn who you are when you're not constantly working is a really valuable lesson. And in and of itself, whether your career break is a couple of months long, a year long, I think it's really important to learn who we are when we are not delivering a product, and that we're not, trying to be successful when we are just being. It's totally normal to feel uncertain about the future. Even though I had a plan, like possibly hiking the CDT, taking a pottery class, getting into some more creative projects, there have been times, and I still do struggle with this. There are times that uncertainty of not knowing what's next is very just unsettling. For someone who is a goal-oriented person, not knowing exactly what's coming next, especially after the hike, has been one of the biggest things I've had to work through during this break. And I knew it would be, because I've always lived my life with a plan. I've gotten a little better at relinquishing some of the, I'm going to have this title by this day, and I'm going to live here in this place with this person and these people around me. It's still a struggle to not know what's coming next. And to be honest, while I'm so excited for the hike, and the hike means a lot of things to me that I've talked about in other videos that you can check out on my channel, the hike has given me something to focus on, because regardless of whether I hike, decided to hike the CDT, or even if I finish, this time was going to be spent on a career break no matter what. And so sometimes it feels like the CDT is a little bit of a cop-out of like taking a true career break, because I have something big to focus on and to go do. And there's a lot of things that a career break means for people. And it doesn't just mean you have to sit around and meditate the entire time and just think about what's next. And I'm not saying that, but I just want to normalize the fact that you don't have to know what's coming next. And anyone who's looking to do something like this, or like I said earlier, if you're currently doing it, just know that feeling is not abnormal. And building routines for yourself, whether that's a nice morning routine or an afternoon, going to the gym, having people that you regularly meet up with and talk to, having some sort of routine has been really important for me. And I'm not perfect at it. There are days where I still kind of wander around and I'm like, what am I doing? What should I do today? It feels very strange to have this much time. And then to sit down and kind of have that pit in your stomach and that anxiety of like, what am I doing? What am I going to do when I get back? How am I going to make money? How do I want to make money? And when you're trying to break out of the mold that you've put yourself in, or maybe your family, or maybe the society, the area you live in has put you there, it can be very foreign to allow yourself to think about what you want and when you want it and how you want it. And it feels like for me, it feels like a lot of pressure sometimes. And so I'll find myself kind of distracting myself with watching a show or doing a project or hanging out with someone, when really it's okay to sit with your thoughts, and it's okay to not know what's coming next. It's totally normal. And what's so funny is that so many things have happened to me in my life, some good, some bad, some just mundane. But the through line of all of it is that I'm okay. I've made it through every hard thing that I've done, and those things have made me stronger. They've made me better. They have taught me more lessons than any of the easy or rewarding or good things that have happened to me. And I think this is just another one of those times where I'm going to look back and go, Chelsea, why did you spend so much of your career break that you planned and paid for worrying about what comes next, when life has a way of working itself out, especially when you're living in alignment with who you are, what you want to contribute to the world and to the society that you live in, and those that are around you. I think the universe rewards us even more than when we are climbing the corporate ladder, when we're doing what we know only because it's what we know, not necessarily because it's what we want. And so, yeah, I just wanted to say that it's normal, it's okay, and there are going to be times, no matter how diligent you are about, not thinking about the future, there are going to be times. And especially even if you're a person who is really good about just living in the moment and being in the present, your family and friends will not understand sometimes what you're doing and why you're doing it. I have been asked by a handful of people They don't even ask me necessarily like, how's your career break going? Like, what have you learned and how are you doing? You know, they immediately jump to, oh, well, what are you going to do for work when you're done? And what kind of job are you going to get? Like, everybody is already asking me, like, just a couple months into my break, like, what am I going to do when I'm done? And I'm like, I have no idea. Of course, I might be able to go back to doing project management work if that's something that I decide that I want to do. But I don't know, you know, I may want to work outdoors. I may want to continue YouTube. I may want to try a different corporate career than what I was doing. I may want to do the same thing, but for a different type of company. There are so many options, and spending today just worrying about that and having anxiety is not serving anybody. So just want to say that that's normal and it's going to happen and that life is going to work out, and probably for the better. Point number 3, doing nothing is weirdly hard and weirdly freeing. So this point's kind of tied to the first 2 points, but I did want to expand on it a little bit more because I have found that the doing nothing for me is so much harder than all the doing that I was participating in before this career break. There were days that, and there are still days during the career break, that I'm just like sitting around watching my cat take a nap, watching a sunset, just sitting, like literally just sitting in silence. And there's almost like a wave of guilt, of like, I should be doing something. And this is a big struggle for me because 1, I am the oldest of 3 children. I am a perfectionist and I am a doer. I mean, working in project management, the satisfaction for me came from completing a project, right? Like, and getting that, checking all those boxes. So living in this routine for over a decade, you know, 8 to 10 hour days of checking boxes, and to go from like checking all the boxes and all the things to doing nothing. It's very, just guilt. There's a lot of guilt. And that was a weird feeling for me of like, wait, I'm taking this break on my time and my dime. No one's making me do this. No one forced me out of my job, you know, like there's none of those. So like, what is this about? You know, like, what is that guilt that we carry around with us? And I don't think you even need to take a career break to feel this. I think sometimes even in our normal day-to-day lives, we can feel guilty over a lot of things. Sometimes I think it's, you know, when you're working all the time, you feel guilty about not having enough time for your family, or not having enough time for your friends, not having enough time to do all the things for yourself that you want to do, you know, your health, your creativity, you know. But it's interesting that taking this break, that guilt kind of carried over, because you wouldn't think that it would, you know, like that when you've made the decision and it's your money, it's your time, that you would feel empowered by it. And there are times that I do feel empowered by it, but there are times that I feel that guilt. And being so conditioned through school and work, and sometimes through our parents or our elders, to believe that productivity equals success and equals wellness, it's a hard mindset to let go of. So since taking the break, I've had some of my most clarifying moments, rewarding moments, when I'm just allowing myself to sit still and to be okay in the nothingness, and to know that it's not forever. I struggle with thinking those existential thoughts sometimes of, it's always going to be this way. I'm always going to be on this break. I'm never going to have a job again. Like, you know, all the nevers and always type of language. And so just allowing myself to be calm and to exist and to be a human first before being a worker, being successful, has been really rewarding and a little revolutionary. And I hope to take all these points really, but this one especially, into whatever comes next, because it's very easy to get back into a routine, no matter what kind of job you have, of working hard, hustling, grinding, being successful, making money, making friends, laddering up. And I don't want to just jump back into that and not have that balance that I have learned to have and I've forced myself to have in doing this career break. So it's possible, and I think it's important to carry that into whatever is next if you are thinking about doing a career break or you're on one right now. So yeah, this break has been eye-opening. I'm still on it. I still have things that I'm figuring out. I'm obviously leaving for the CDT hike very soon, and I'm going to be doing that for the next few months. And then when I get back, it will be more of this, of thinking about what I want to do and how I want to enter back into the job market, and how I want to spend my time, because time is our most precious resource, and we trade our time for money, and it's not to be taken lightly, what you trade that time for. And I really want to be intentional with that when I jump back into the workspace. If you're considering a break or you're on one right now, I really hope this video has been helpful to you and that you've learned a few points about, what to expect if you take one. And being 8 months into it now, which is crazy to say, I wish I would have had, I did watch a few videos of other people that were helpful, but it would have been nice to hear somebody talk that was like currently in the break, someone that didn't have it necessarily all together, had moved on into a different career afterwards, and kind of speaking from like that looking back perspective, which I definitely hope to put out one of those videos when I am on the other side of the break. But I thought it would be nice to just chat about how it's been going so far these last, few months, and what I hope to learn in the future. So I hope it's been helpful for you. Let me know in the comments below what you would want to learn or explore or feel if you had the opportunity to take your career break. I would love to hear from you. And if you want to follow along as I hike the CDT and keep navigating life off the clock, hit that subscribe button and give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me out, and I'd appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next one.